Jerusalem, a sacred city at the heart of three major religions. But here's the question: why has this holy land remained a center of conflict throughout history? What is it about this city that makes it more than just a place, but a feeling? To understand that, make sure you watch this video till the end. Jerusalem, a city of stone, faith, and tension. In 30 AD, this wasn't just a city. It was the center of belief, power, and a quiet unrest. Narrow streets stretched between ancient walls, where people didn't just walk, they carried their stories with them. Merchants called out loudly, pilgrims arrived with hope, and religious leaders guided the people. And above them all, Roman soldiers stood watch, silent, disciplined, always present. It felt like the city was breathing, but never truly at peace. And somewhere within those walls, events were unfolding that would change the course of human history forever. But imagine for a moment, what did Jerusalem actually look like back then? When people walked through those streets, what did they see? What did they hear? And most importantly, what did they feel? To understand that, we have to step inside the city itself. In 30 AD, Jerusalem wasn't the largest city in the world, but it was certainly one of the most important. Its importance wasn't in its size, but in what it meant. This was a city that lived in people's hearts. For Jews, it was their sacred home, where the temple stood, where they felt closest to God. For Christians, it was the city where Jesus lived, where his message spread, and where events unfolded that changed the world forever. For Muslims, it is the place from where the night journey began, and where Al-Aqsa Mosque stands. But Jerusalem wasn't just a place of worship, it was the land of prophets. From Abraham to David to Solomon, this city is deeply connected to some of the greatest figures in history. That's why Jerusalem was never just land, it was the center of belief. And maybe that's exactly why it has always been a center of conflict, because when one place becomes sacred to so many different people, walking away from it is never easy. But there was another reality too. Jerusalem was under the control of a powerful empire, Rome. Here, faith existed. Alongside power, religious leaders guided the people, while Roman officials maintained order. But beneath that balance, tension was slowly building, because when power and belief exist side by side, conflict is never far away. And Jerusalem's story did not begin in 30 AD. The city was built among rugged hills, surrounded by dry land, a difficult place to settle, but a valuable one, because it stood at the crossroads of major trade routes. Over time, walls were built, kings ruled, wars were fought, and Jerusalem became more than just a city. It became a symbol. At its center stood the temple, where people traveled from far away to pray, to hope, and to connect with something greater than themselves. But the city was never free from conflict. It was conquered again and again, each empire leaving its mark, each one reshaping its future. And by 30 AD, Rome controlled Jerusalem, and with that came a name: Herod the Great, a king appointed by Rome who transformed the city. He expanded the temple into something so grand that it became one of the wonders of the ancient world. The city grew more beautiful, but peace never came with it. It were loud, crowded with people, filled with different languages and different cultures. Jerusalem was alive, but beneath it all, there was tension, heavy taxes, foreign rule, and quiet resentment in the hearts of the people. The streets weren't just pathways, they were filled with emotion, especially during festivals. When thousands entered the city, Jerusalem transformed. The noise increased, the crowds grew, and so did the danger. Roman soldiers were everywhere, watching, waiting, because everyone knew something was coming. And yet, despite all of this, Jerusalem was alive. Children played, merchants called out, people prayed. It was a city full of life and meaning, because Jerusalem wasn't built only on stone, it was built on belief. And that's what makes it different from every other city in the world. Today, Jerusalem still stands, changed but recognizable. People still come here, walk these same streets, touch these same walls, where history once unfolded. Because Jerusalem is not just a city, it is a story that is still being written. But Jerusalem's story didn't end there, because what happened in this city didn't stay in the past. It didn't fade away, it didn't disappear, it stayed, and then it spread. It echoed across centuries, through time, through empires, through generations that never even saw its beginning, yet still felt its weight. Empires rose with power, ambition, and control, believing they could shape this city. And for a moment, it seemed like they did. But then, they fell, one after another. Names changed, thrones collapsed, but Jerusalem remained, not untouched, but never erased. Rulers came, raised their flags high, declared control, and then they were replaced. Borders shifted, lines were drawn, and then redrawn. Again and again, as if the world kept trying to define something that refused to be contained. Because Jerusalem was never just land, it was something deeper. A city rebuilt, not once, not twice, but again and again, stone over stone, layer over layer, each piece carrying the memory of what came before it. And yet, despite standing tall, it was never truly at rest. Because every time it rose, it carried history with it, not behind it, but within it. Over time, these stones, they stopped being just stone. They became witnesses to belief, deep, unshakable belief that no force could break. Witnesses to conflict, raw, painful human conflict that left marks, not just on land, but on people. Witnesses to hope, quiet, almost invisible, yet somehow it never died. And witnesses to loss, the kind that echoes long after everything else is gone. Generations came and generations left. Faces changed, names faded, stories were lost. But the meaning of this city only grew stronger. For some, it was a place of prayer, a place where voices softened, where hearts opened, where people searched for something greater than themselves. For others, it was something else, something to protect, something to claim, something worth fighting for, not just with words, but with everything they had. And for many, it became both, a place of peace and a place of struggle at the same time. Because Jerusalem was no longer just a location. It had become an idea people believed in, something invisible, yet more powerful than anything physical, an identity, something people carried, not in their hands, but within themselves, and a symbol that traveled far beyond the city itself, across borders, across continents, living in the hearts of people who had never even seen it. And that is what makes this city different. You can conquer land, you can control territory, you can redraw maps again and again. But belief doesn't follow those rules. You cannot command it, you cannot erase it, you cannot easily conquer it. And in Jerusalem, belief doesn't just exist. It lives in every stone, every street, every wall. Even today, the city still stands at the center of the world's attention, still sacred, still divided, still deeply emotional. People still walk these streets, still stop, still look around, as if trying to understand something that cannot be fully explained. They still pray, still reach out, still search for something beyond the physical world. But at the same time, the tension never fully leaves, because here, history is not just remembered, it is still being lived, right now. And maybe that is the real story of Jerusalem. Not just what happened here, but what continues to happen. Because this city is not frozen in time. It is alive, breathing, changing, enduring. And as long as belief exists, Jerusalem will always matter. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, make sure to follow for more cinematic historical stories, because the past never truly disappears. It still lives all around us.